Quick freebie lesson here. This is part of a free lesson that you'll if you go to the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll have a link back to the blog post where we have a free lesson for guitar, bass, and ukulele. So regular 6-string guitar, 4-string bass guitar, and ukulele. Same basic lesson across all three instruments, but we want to, of course, check it out on all three instruments because there are some alterations needed. So song charts and all that stuff are on the lesson. When you get to the lesson itself, it will have links either back to this video or to the guitar video or to the bass video. So check all that out. And all the other information that's also down in the description box. So at any rate, we're going to start this with just a finger exercise type thing, a dexterity drill. This is just to, initially this is just to make sure you're getting the notes fretted properly so that you're getting the sound that you want to get out of these. You want a clear sound, not that type of thing. So the main idea, in case you're brand new to this, is you want to be right next to the fret. You don't want to get on top of the fret. You want to be right behind the fret, so you're approaching fret 1 and approaching fret 2 and so on. Right on top of the string. So string 1, of course, is going to be the one closest to the floor, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're just going to do a basic 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. And over here I'm just using my thumb, or you can use your finger, or if you've got a pick, you can use a pick and do that. Doesn't matter. We want to focus mostly on this hand for the moment. So just take a moment, and you can even pause the video if you'd like, and then go through and play those. And again, this is what you don't want. You don't want that type of thing, so don't rush through it. Make sure you're playing with that finger in the right spot so that you're getting the notes to ring. That's going to come in handy, and I'm rushing through it here. Don't try to do this quickly. The idea is, and you can go to the next string as well, but the idea is that we get all of the notes ringing properly, so we get comfortable with that type of approach, so that whether you're then playing chords or playing pieces of scales or melodies or whatever you're playing, that you're getting those fretted properly. So if you want, go ahead and pause this for just a moment, and you can come back and work on that a little bit and then come back. So pause, and looky here, we're back. All right, so the next thing we want to do is just a little bit of rhythm. So what I'm going to do over here is actually just touch the strings so that the strings don't make any sound at all. So I'm not squeezing, I'm just laying my fingers across them, sort of flattening the fingers out and laying across. Again, when you're playing ukulele, some people will use a pick. Some people will use, like a finger or a thumb. Right now doesn't really matter. Just do whatever's comfortable. Try them all. See what works best for you. But I'm just going to play a rhythm, and I want you to jump in and play the rhythm with me. Okay? So we're just going to go, and then you jump right in. Now, if you're brand new, you just want to make sure you're playing this rhythm nice and steady. If you've been playing for a while, you want to add some levels of difficulty even before we change to a different rhythm. So the first thing you could do is just voice the rhythm that you're playing. That shouldn't be too difficult. But if you're more of a beginner, that might be difficult for you. If you've been playing for a while, that shouldn't be too difficult. But if it is, then that's actually a great drill to do, of course, until it's not. Now, if you've had any other kind of musical training and you know how to count traditionally, for example, we can add that to the equation too, right? So so 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 1, 2, 3, All right, so there's multiple levels of difficulty there that we can do to either bring you from very beginner level on up, or if you're already playing and have played a while, to move up from there. And that's a simple rhythm. We could certainly go into more difficult rhythms from there, but you want to approach any rhythm that you know the same way, trying to verbalize and do the count and that sort of thing on it. And there's additional things that we'll talk about later, but for the context of this lesson, we'll leave that alone for now. If you know any scales, you can take a moment. We can just kind of pause the video again and take a moment and play through those. If you're brand new, you probably don't know any scales at all, and that's quite all right. We just skip this section and keep right on going. But we do want to take a moment and play through some scales if you know your major scale or your pentatonic scale or something of that nature. So pause and then come on back. Here we are. All right. So the next thing we'd want to do then, if you know some chords, we can certainly take a few minutes and run through some chords as well. If you don't know chords, obviously there's a handful of chords. It's also important how you're learning the chords, so that you're not just randomly learning chords. There's a tendency to either just learn the chords you need for a handful of songs, or to just try to learn dozens of chords and then apply them to songs. But there's actually a streamlined way that will get you up and running even faster. So all we want to do for today, I'm not going to sit and run through every possible chord or what have you, but the nice thing with ukulele is that if you're learning ukulele and you already play guitar, for example, it's a chopped down section of the full chord shapes from guitar, so that will translate to this. And the same thing, if you start on ukulele and maybe later down the line you want to learn guitar, that's going to be cool too, because you're just expanding the shapes, and that's fine. So we could just take a simple chord and just apply, ooh, that's a little out of tune there, isn't it? And apply different, a particular rhythm like this, just to work on moving back and forth between one chord and another chord. And in this case, I was simply going from a C to a G and back. Okay? But you want to take that approach and some people go alphabetically through it, some will go through whatever system, and just playing all the chords. Alphabetically is probably a good way if you have a handful of chords already, just so you make sure you get them all, so you don't miss something unless you've got some other way to organize the chords. In the lesson, there's a list of chords, so you could certainly go through them that way. So the next thing I'd want to look at real quick is a simple picking pattern. A lot of times people are strumming, but a lot of times also they may be playing single notes for something they're doing, or they're just picking instead of strumming. So you might get something like that. So we're going to leave this hand alone and just look at this hand. Again, you can do this with a pick if you want. If you're using a pick, you can work on upstrokes. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 2 and repeat that over and over again. So you could do that with upstrokes, for example. Or you could do that with all downstrokes if you wanted to. Or you could use fingers. And if you're using fingers, some people will use just their thumb. Or they might use a finger. But the idea is we want to be able to play that as if we're playing a song. So nice steady pace, no matter what technique you're using to play that. Fingers, thumbs, pick, whatever. There's no right or wrong way right now. We just want to be able to go through that and play that. Okay? And then, again, if you're more advanced, you can add to that to the sequence of chords, whatever and so that's some additional stuff you can work on. So at any rate, that's there are song charts. So if you've been playing a little longer, there are song charts. If you have not, and all this is new, just practice this stuff. And for more advanced players, you can simply mix up the different patterns. You can play them with different ways, like finger, finger, thumb, finger. So you can find different ways to approach these. And so you just want to take the same exercises and add levels of difficulty. And then again, go to the song charts and have fun with those. And if you have any questions, just holler at us and let us know, and we will take care of it. You have a good one now.